Welcome to the Budget Mom YouTube channel. I'm Miko Love from thebudgetmom.com. Ryan's still here.
I'm still here.
For another budget recap, and we're diving into some craziness for this YouTube video. We're doing a September budget recap. So yeah, September was crazy. I got married in September. So I did keep with my financial routine. My financial routine consists of 5 to 10 minutes every morning, updating my spending, going through my cash envelopes, checking my accounts online, maybe updating my savings trackers, figuring out and analyzing where I am on my financial goals. You're like, dang, Miko, that's a lot. Not really. I've been doing it for
You've
so
gotten
long.
so streamlined.
It's like it takes me 5-10 minutes every
Right.
morning, and I walk away with peace of mind, not having to think about my money or finances
You get a
again.
lot done. You get so much done.
I do. So it's craziness in September.
September was insane. I don't
Okay.
even remember when all this happened.
So we had my Bachelorette Party. That's what started it.
It was a month ago.
That was a month ago, because we're filming this. We're
so confused.
We are confused.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So this is for September. Okay. We're now in October. So. Okay. So we had my rehearsal dinner on the 9th, my wedding on the 10th. I went to a Seattle Seahawks game on the 23rd through the 25th. Okay. So a lot of things
Miko.
to go over for September. One of the big things that you're going to see on my Where Do My Money Go worksheets.
I remember this.
Yes. Where Do My Money Go worksheets. So I've been getting the question a lot of, and I explained this in my last budget recap. Christopher and I do we do our finances separate. That doesn't mean that we don't dream together. It doesn't mean that we don't have financial goals together. It doesn't mean that we can't come together and still do financial meetings together. I am very heavily informed with what's going on in Christopher's financial life, because here is the fact: no matter which way you tie, pull it, whatever, your spouse's or partner's financial life and financial situation is going to affect you, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
It's
Totally.
going
That's
to
so
affect
true.
you whether you combine or not combine.
No matter how the cookie crumbles.
Right? Okay? That's just life. That's what happens when you're in a partnership.
That's so true.
It's how you manage your money as a partnership team, and
Communicate.
And marriage
that's hard.
is communication. So you're going to see something in this budget recap that I have not talked about even on my Instagram as of this video that we're recording this. So another big thing, okay, let's talk about my trip to Seattle. Okay, something there that's never happened to me in the whole 6 years I've been going down for Seahawks games. We usually go down for 3 or 4 a year. This time, I did not have time to bring my Jeep in for an oil change. Chris' car needed an oil change. We're not going to chance driving our cars there.
Right,
So we decided to get a rental. Okay, Chris covered the cost of the rental. However, though, when we went down there with friends, we decided to park in an uncovered parking lot. The first time we don't park in a covered garage. We come back to a busted out window. Someone broke into our car. Now,
A rental car at that.
a rental car, so thank goodness for that. However, though, we had some friends that had some valuable things be stolen, but me and Christopher are fine. Anyways, that happened to us. We had to deal with insurance claim and all that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's always.
So that was very unfortunate. Did not ruin my time. You robbers ain't taking that away from me. I had a blast still. I just a little bit of a hassle to deal with the insurance.
That is
and all
annoying.
that. I'm thankful though it wasn't in my Jeep.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
have to
kind of
deal with it.
bittersweet because you probably got
But let me
overcharged
tell
to get the
you-
window fixed.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet.
Let me tell you this though, the ride home was freezing without a back window. Coming home at 10:30 at night on a 4.5 hour drive.
Over a mountain.
Over a mountain pass.
Oh
so
my
that
God.
so that was a little bit of my September. How did yours go?
September is where my dog started having all these wonky issues, allergies. We noticed it about like 2 or 3 months ago, and we've had him. We adopted him from a kill shelter in Tennessee, so we have no idea what he was like allergy wise, but ever since we've had him for almost 7 years, and he's never had any vet issues, no allergies, no nothing. He started itching like super bad about 2 months ago, to the point where it was like rubbing his skin, like it turned into like elephant skin. And I turned to Google, of course, and it kind of led into allergies or a yeast infection even. So we took him into the vet, like $600 later, over $600 later, we just found out he has allergies.
The thing that makes me question, though, what did he eat that gave him those allergies?
I don't think it's eating. I think it's just in a different area, because this is his first summer that he's been in the Midwest. And I mean, granted, he grew up in Tennessee, but he left there when he was like 9 months. So, but this is the first time that he's ever been like in that kind of climate, and with it being humid, and there's all weird sorts of bugs there. And I think he's just allergic to something. I know there's all sorts of allergens in the Midwest that just don't exist anywhere but the Midwest. And I think that he's just allergic to something like that. We've been debating on getting him an allergy test.
We did that for Toby.
We're hoping that it's seasonal, because we moved in October and we haven't noticed anything until midsummer. So we're hoping it's seasonal. We were put on Apoquel, and if you're on Apoquel, you know how expensive that is. That's why it was so expensive. But
did it help?
Worked wonders.
Okay.
Worked wonders.
Been worth every penny.
10 out of 10 recommend. Try Benadryl first. Baby Benadryl. That's what I'm going to do in the winter once he's done with his Apoquel, because it is hard on their liver, I think. I don't know. We have to do blood work for it if we were to get another dose. So we're going to try Benadryl to see if that, or if it just goes away in the winter and it's just a summer thing, that would be even better.
That would be better.
Yeah.
On
so
his poor
that
little
happened.
body.
I know. That happened. And then something else happened. I have a girl that I used to work with in Kansas City messaged me like kind of out of nowhere. I mean, we kind of keep in touch. I worked with her when 6 years ago when I used to live there. And she's just been like going through a lot personally, and she almost got evicted, and just a lot of like financial struggle. She got let go of her job because she lost her car broke and blah, 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 whatever. Well, I found out she wasn't eating. And so I bought her groceries and I had them delivered to her house. So I know, and that's something I told Cody, I said, I don't even know like what, it was just, you just get a tug in your heart, and like this
is why we budget. That story is financial fulfillment.
Yeah, literally.
That's financial fulfillment.
Yeah. And yes. Go ahead, Miko.
When you are able to, oh my God, that just warms my heart. Oh my gosh. I haven't heard this story yet.
I know, I haven't told her yet.
But this is why I teach what I teach. This is why I have such a passion for what I do, because that there is what I experienced in my own life. And let me tell you, once you experience that for yourself, it's this sense of just...
And any amount,
to be able to give so freely.
Yeah.
Because you have filled your financial cup to the very, very top, and now you're able to pour into others, I think is the biggest blessing of an outcome to what we do.
Yeah, it was just a pull, and I know that she has some, she's on the spectrum as well, so I know that, I just felt very compelled to
help.
Get her, I got like Walmart groceries delivered to her house. So that's what that was.
Okay, we can end the budget recap now.
And the thing is like I have debt still, I do have debt, and I have savings goals and stuff, but I don't know, that was just more fulfilling to me than any debt payment I've ever made in my whole entire life.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. This is where, so Ryen has debt, like she said. Just because you have debt doesn't mean that you are not able to live the type of life you want now, in a sense, right? Of course, obviously, you're going to have a little bit more responsibility because you have debt.
Right.
But she was still able to do something.
The freedom to choose.
The freedom to choose. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, this is we're just done now. You
guys don't need to know anymore.
Yeah, you don't need to know any more than that. I mean, because this is living proof. Now, when Ryen first started working for me, over 3 years ago, Ryen was a follower of mine. Yeah. Now, I chose Ryen to work with me out of 100 of applicants because of her heart. Number one and foremost. That was, I always tell the story. The number one piece of advice, the best piece of advice I got from my mom is she said, when I called her bawling, Mom, I don't know how to hire someone. I'm going to make a big mistake. Then I'm going to have to fire them. Then I'm going to feel real bad. She said, hire someone who has the heart and the care that you do and the passions you do to help people, those things cannot be taught, but skills can be, right? And like, Ryen is living proof. She has worked through this system. She is, even though she still has debt, she's still working on her financial goals. But it's living proof that you can get to a place where you can pour into others. And let's be honest, that is a big component of financial fulfillment.
Oh, for sure. Just selflessly give.
Right. Oh my gosh. I can't even continue right now.
Video over.
Yeah, video over. Okay, so, but yes, honestly though, because I remember, like, when I was able, the first person I had that experience was my mom.
Yeah.
Being able to help my mom, who was in a situation that was, I felt, extremely toxic and extremely abusive in her workplace. So to be able to help, it's this feeling that you cannot just give to somebody. You can't, you have a hard time explaining it. It is like,
you feel pulled to do it, and then you do it, and it's just like,
it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it is very overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. And
very humbling too.
It is so, like, I remember I just cried for days. And it was like this cry. It wasn't a sad cry. It was a cry like,
I get to do this.
I get to do this. Holy crap, I made it.
Especially for someone like your parents who raised you, you know, your mom who raised you and worked so hard and sacrificed so much, and being able to give anything back is so.
Right, and those sacrifices that your parents, like I think about my mom, the sacrifices my mom made, right? That deepening responsibility of having a child, I never understood that and recognized that until I had a child of my own. That's when the real appreciation, I'm not going to lie here, that's when the real appreciation started for me.
Yeah, that's so funny you say that. I don't have a kid, as most of you guys know, but I have a niece who is very much
your
like
daughter.
My baby. Yeah, she's mine. And I feel the same way. Like, I was at my mom's a couple days ago, and I felt like I looked at my mom differently, like, man, woman, like, it was hard. It's hard doing what you do. And you did it twice, and now you're like, what?
Yeah. I mean, there were times where I would literally just say randomly to my mom, like, thank you.
Yeah.
It's just like, she's like, my mom would look at me, she's like, what? Like, thank you for what? I'm like, gosh, for just, like, being the most amazing mom.
Yeah. And, like, parents, like, I worry all the freaking time about Ryen. Like, she's always on my mind. I'm just worried. And I know my mom was also very worried, but growing up, you're like, oh, my mom's so strict, or my mom's so, you know, like, you get mad that your parents are like that.
But then you realize why.
But you see why they were like that.
You know, gray hairs, why us parents have them is our stress and worry over our children.
I got one gray hair growing, but it's underneath a couple layers. I saw it the other day when I was brushing my hair, and I plucked that thing, and it's gonna grow back.
I call those the mom grays, okay? I have them all over my head.
I'm waiting for them to start flooding my head.
I mean, I'll be sitting on the couch, and here comes Christopher with tweezers to go pull out all the gray hair. I'm like, don't remind me.
Cody has gray hair, too, and I just...
He's like, see, babe, it's real. I'm like, I know it's real.
It's white.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm just pretending like it's not real.
It's not there.
Anyway, so let's get into September. We have a lot to go over. Let's jump in. So right now we're looking at my monthly budget category breakdown. I had a lot of inflow this month, totaling $13,474. So I started with a $1,400 starting balance, $5,100 of earned income. I used a lot of other income and $1,211 for savings used. I was over budget, so investments. Me and Christopher decided to open a joint non-retirement brokerage account to fund hopefully some long-term goals that we have here on the property. So we started that investment account. $5,000 is what we put towards that. I was over $91 in food because if you look at my expense tracker, I did a run to Costco. And so I used some of my Costco sinking fund, which did put me a little bit over my normal budget. But those were the only two big ones where I was over budget. Yeah. The rest I was under, which...
That's awesome.
I had an $800 budget for wedding. That was to do like tanning, nails, hair. I'm really lucky that a good friend of mine owns the salon that I go to for my lashes, my tanning. She paid for all of it as a wedding gift for me. So the only thing that I really had to pay for was my hair. So I didn't use the full 800 that I was planning on using, which people are like, that's a lot of money. I just didn't know. I didn't know what was going to come up prior to the wedding. So that's what I used for that. For my monthly debt and savings breakdown, so we saved 42%. It's very rare that my investments is way more than my savings.
Right.
But it was because 89% of what I invested, I could say we for the joint account, went to that joint account, 9% went to the 529, and then only $100 this time went towards my TOD.
Is this like a monthly thing that you guys are going to be doing?
No.
Now, or just like a one-time?
This was a one-time. Yeah, this was a one-time to get it funded. Christopher, I'm going to start $200 monthly contributions that was previously going to my non-retirement individual brokerage account.
Nice.
Is that now going to be going to the joint account.
Okay.
I saved 13% of my income. 75 went towards my sinking funds, 21% went towards my emergency. And then for my monthly spending comparison, I, of course, had a big jump in inflow because of the $5,000 that we used. We used, and I'm going to explain it more towards the end of the video, but mainly gift money from the wedding and savings, extra savings that we had. I spent $788 more in fun and entertainment in September than I did in August. I spent more in food because that Costco run.
Right, yeah.
And then obviously more in...
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. I was over in my fun and entertainment because of a trip to Seattle that we did for the Seahawks game. So I know why I'm over, why I'm under. It all works out. But this was my monthly spending comparison from September to August.
Okay, so here is my September monthly budget category breakdown. Coming into September, I had a starting balance of $318.91. My paycheck income was $4471, other income of $55, savings used, which was for Brock. This was just from my emergency fund. Total monthly inflow was $539584. Everything with a little green dot means I was under budget for September. Everything with the red dot means I was over. Now, like I said earlier, there was a hefty vet bill, which made my monthly spent total for Brock $803, which is insane and the most I've ever spent on that dog in a month. So I'm just hoping that that doesn't come as a sticker shock again. And with that, that means that I'm also focusing on saving back my emergency fund, which is why I contributed $400 in the month of September to savings. Other than that, I was under in food, which I'm happy about, under in personal. Over in debt, which is always good. I was able to put more this month than in August, $785, which is awesome. Obviously, I blew the Brock budget. Utilities, barely over. Savings, it's always good to be over in. Ryen, I did stay under budget in September. And then like I was explaining at the beginning of the video, giving, I just worked this into my budget for my second paycheck in September. And that's what I used to buy a friend of mine groceries. And then my October starting balance is $333.19, which totals out to match my total monthly inflow, which is good. Okay, and then here's my monthly debt and savings breakdown. I was able to put 15% of my inflow to debt, which was about $785. Again, 99% of that went to my student loan. Over to savings, I saved 8%, which was about $400. The savings challenges was only $50 in September. And then sinking funds is $350, and my emergency fund is included in that sinking funds, which now that I see that I'm going to start separating it just so I can keep better track of it. But my contributions to my emergency fund is also included in that sinking funds, just because I'm building that back up. And then my monthly spending comparison from September to August. If it's a green dot, that means I spent less in September. A red dot means I spent more. Green pretty much all the way through, just a little bit over utilities. Brock, obviously, again, I was way over compared to August. And then debt, which is always good to put more towards debt. So yeah, overall, I'm happy with September, although my dog kind of took over on that expense. I'm glad that he's all better now and we were able to figure out what it was and it wasn't anything too serious. But ready for October.
So that is our September budget recap. Big strides for me and Christopher.
Yeah, new beginnings.
like, I know I did. Okay, if you want to know all about my wedding, my thoughts and my feelings right after it all happened, make sure you check out my most recent Instagram live that I posted and saved on my Instagram to my feed.
We'll put a link.
We'll put a link in the description of this video to that. But, you know, geez, I don't want to get all emotional, but we were just so overwhelmingly blessed. Financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, throughout our whole process of our marriage. And Christopher and I had to pool some money together. This was from either gifts that we received at the wedding, because if you have been following my wedding journey, that you know that we specifically asked for no gifts. Mm-hmm. The one gift that we did ask for people is to come together because we wanted to spend time with the people we love and care about. That was the one gift.
And boy, did that happen.
Boy, did that happen.
It was beautiful and wonderful and so fun.
It was so fun. It was the wedding of the year.
It was. It seriously was.
It was the wedding of the year.
Oh.
But we had some gifts come in that way. We were gifted some things for the wedding. So we had some money. Christopher and I got together, and this is a perfect example. We are still dreaming together even though we manage our money separately.
Right.
One of the things that Christopher and I have really come together on, and it's funny that Christopher's on the same page with me on this, is really getting more into building more of a sustained homestead here on the property, on the 20 acres. Possibility and dreaming of building a barn. And eventually this turning into an animal sanctuary. There are a lot of, let me just give you an example. Okay, 2 weeks ago I was on Facebook. Someone had posted that they, due to financial situations, had to give away their donkey.
Oh.
Okay, for free. Basically, they needed someone to come rescue this donkey. The living conditions weren't the best. Mm-hmm. They weren't able to provide feed, anything like that. I would have swooped that donkey up in a minute.
That my donkey.
If we had the means,
a farm,
the place right here to take care of it. So that's just an example of what I'm talking about. I want to be able to rescue and have a safe, loving place for animals in needs. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking not like dogs or cats. Dogs and cats, obviously, maybe, but more towards the farm animals, mm-hmm. the pigs, the donkeys, the goats, the chickens. Mm-hmm. That's really what I want to be able to get more into. So we did open that joint non-retirement brokerage account, mm-hmm. both of our names on it. Both of our money went into that. So $5,000, that's what we're starting off with.
That's awesome.
We got to start somewhere. That's what we're doing. We're dreaming.
Dream big.
What our future looks like. Not just as the budget mom.
Right.
I know so many.
You are also Miko.
I am also me. I know so many people see me as a budget mom, and this is such a huge passion of mine, and it takes up so much of my heart and my time. But I also have other passions in my life, mm-hmm. things that I'm not ready to share yet to the world. And it's one of those things where, like, it was such a great conversation. If you are in a relationship and you're getting closer to marriage, or you're in a relationship that's serious, you need to sit down and dream together. You need to talk about your future goals. That's a huge part of that.
It's hard.
Communication. It's hard, especially when you are on different pages.
Right, and most people are. Most people have those. I know at least Cody and I have very different outlooks on money.
Yes.
So it's been a struggle trying to you don't just get to go buy a $400 Xbox because yours broke.
Yeah.
Just chill. Car parts.
Yeah, and I'm really lucky that Christopher, he's not a spender. He's a money hoarder.
Okay.
He's a hoarder at heart. He will spend graciously on his trading cards. That is his one hobby that does cost a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But as far as like our dreams and our goals, he's more of committed to being a family man, being home more often, being physically present. And so it would be nice for our homestead to produce enough income on its own to replace his income, and he could run the homestead full time.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, this is a long-term dream and goal of ours. What does that look like? Selling our own produce, selling our eggs, and some other things that I'm not...
Setting up a booth at the farmer's market.
Setting up a booth at the farmer's market. I'm not 100% ready to reveal the whole thing, but We're dreaming, and that's what that was. So
awesome.
that's big.
And you're making moves.
We're making money moves. And hashtag money moves.
Hashtag money
And so coming up in November, lies.
October.
Coming up in October, we have a lot of travel going on. We have our honeymoon. We have my husband.
That is so weird. That's the
My
first time I ever
husband.
called. That's the first
My
time I ever heard you
husband.
call him your husband.
My husband. He was invited to pitch and be a part of this all-star team down in Arizona for baseball. So we'll be going down there. It's a yearly thing that he's invited to. His age hasn't caught up to him yet. He's still out there with the very best of best.
Knock on wood.
Best of best. So, and then beginning of November, we have, so it's traveled. It's
Yeah, end of the year is always so busy for you. Miko,
October
with
and the
traveling.
beginning of November, I call it my spending months. This is where all the savings, all the little actions that I've been taking to throw money into savings, this is where I get to use it guilt-free. I really plan on that in October and the beginning of November.
Yeah.
October more so because we have our honeymoon, which is a trip we don't usually do. So
That's September.
that's September, and what's coming up in October? What?
Nothing, and I'm so excited.
Sometimes you need that.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Sometimes you need that though.
Oh yeah, especially after the vet bill.
The vet bill.
Glad my baby's
wedding,
all better, but
traveling.
yeah, right. And
Well,
just
yeah, and I'm glad that
embracing
they-
fall and football season and just chilling,
Football.
drinking.
Go
tea.
Seahawks!
Go Chiefs!
Don't judge me. Oh yeah, well Seahawks ain't looking that good this year, but I'm still rooting for them.
Hey, heck
We're
yeah!
still rooting
And
for
it's always
them.
so fun. It's always so fun.
But I will
watching
say,
football.
Mariners kicking butt.
Yeah, they
Okay?
are. It's like their year, and that's crazy because they're usually not so good.
I'm really excited about that.
Embrace it. Yeah.
I'm embracing it. Yes. Okay, so we'll be back
In
next month
October.
for our.
We'll be back.
We'll be back for our.
We'll be back in November. Oh, our battery's about to die. Go.
Oh, we'll be back for our next budget recap. If you found this video helpful, please like it and don't forget to subscribe.
Oh, we here.
Yes, we are.
Oh,
Oh,
was that it?
dang, yes.
What? No way.